Welcome to the Comic Drop, your weekly spot for comic news and new comics. I'm your host Antonio, and this is Heidi Ho Comics in Santa Monica. Starting off with DC, we have Batman Eternal number 50. Now, we're 2 issues away from the big finale for season 1, and they're taking no time. Basically, Batman's back. He's taking down all of his villains that have been dealing with the other Bat family members the last few issues. Alfred is a badass. Gordon is even a bigger badass. Like, seriously, this is like year 1 Gordon. It's awesome. He's in Blackgate. Criminals are scared of him. This is the Gordon I love, and he really gets back into swing of things, during this issue, puts on the coat again, gets back on the GCPD. It's awesome, and we learn who is behind the mysterious invitation to the fall of Batman at the end of this issue. Not going to say who it is. Read the book, and it makes perfect sense. We sort of maybe saw it coming, maybe didn't. I don't know. It's not Ra's al Ghul, and Batman Eternal is awesome this week. Check out issue number 50. Starting Marvel off this week is the Guardians Team Up number 3 and All New X-Men number 39. So this is Black Vortex chapter 5 and 6. And it's really starting to take form. The story is finally interesting. Basically, all of the characters are together, and they decide to split up again. But this time, it's got a lot better dynamic. They're actually going to be doing things. They aren't just aimlessly wandering around wondering what the Black Vortex is. It's still kind of weird that Peter Quill just wants to use it for no reason other than it's powerful. I feel like, last time I kind of defended his choices because, he says he knows more about the galaxy, but really his reasoning is just it looks cool. And I don't know, it's just a little bit irresponsible, which I guess is something I should expect from Star-Lord. But anyway, we get to see Ronan the Accuser this time because the people who have gone through the Black Vortex end up on Hala, the home planet of the Kree. And so Ronan gets this awesome moment where he gets to kick ass, and basically this is a whole new Ronan the Accuser by the end of this issue, and it's really cool. I think the one thing to note is the all new X-Men artist Sorrentino. His art is awesome. This is some really cool painted looking, very psychedelic kind of stuff, and I'm very excited to see what he does on Old Man Logan. Black Vortex is finally shaping up to be a pretty fun event. Next from Marvel, we have All New Captain America number 5. This book has been really good from the start. I love the idea of Sam Wilson as Captain America. It makes a ton of sense. He's fought with Cap from pretty much the beginning. He's one of Cap's closest allies. He's a badass. He's got great powers, and this is the first issue where I feel he showcases those powers. This is the issue that you get to see why Sam Wilson is a different Captain America from Steve Rogers. Plus, I love seeing all these classic Captain America villains all in one book. We had Crossbones, we had Armadillo, we had, Baron Blood shows up, we've got Batroc the Leaper, Baron Zemo, every Baron you can imagine. This issue is really cool. Sam Wilson and Red Wing really get to shine. And there's just a lot of cool stuff in it, plus a great cameo from Taskmaster. Starting off Image Comics this week, we have Chrono-Not's number 1. This is by Mark Millar with art by Sean Murphy. So this is, I think, the first collaboration between these two creators, and it's awesome. Sean Murphy's art is fantastic. He recently did a awesome comic for Skybound called Dead Body Road, which is really, really cool. And so Mark Millar, you should know, he wrote Kick-Ass, he wrote Marvel Civil War, Old Man Logan, pretty much everything has his name on it at this point. He's not my favorite. He's a little sensationalist. He's very shock value. But this book for the first issue is really fun. It's about these kind of asshole media clowns who invent time travel and now get to be the first people to experience it. And of course, with all good time travel stories, stuff goes wrong. And that's pretty much all we get from the first issue. So I'm excited to see how they really handle the idea of time travel and displacement in time, and what time periods we get to see, because I'm hoping we just don't go in the past and we actually get to advance to the future at some point. But Chrono-Not's number 1, a lot of fun, great art. Next from Image this week, we have Outcast number 7. This is written by Robert Kirkman, who you might know from The Walking Dead and Invincible. And this book has been an awesome story about demonic possession. Really just in the sense that it's kind of a hopeless story. It's not like these characters who just, get the ability to exorcise people and then go do that. This is like learning, if actually, they're still dealing with the fact that they might just be crazy, that maybe the people that they've exorcised might not really be exorcised, and maybe there's bigger forces at work here than even they know. And it's sort of been a story of just these two guys, a preacher and the exorciser, or exorcist, who have been going, from house to house helping these people. And now we're going to get into sort of the real nitty gritty of it. Like, we're going to learn why these people are becoming demonically possessed, what that means, and what is a demon, essentially. And so what's really cool is that this book actually has already been picked up for a TV show, so we'll be seeing that soon. It works really well. I mean, it's very personal kind of drama kind of stuff. So I'd love to see it play out on television. Next from Image, we have Secret Identities #2. The first issue is really cool. It's always really cool to get a superhero book that you don't need prior context for, and that's what this is. I liken it to Invincible a lot because we have a lot of analogs for existing characters or concepts, but done in a new approach. Really, the heart of this book is superheroes with skeletons in their closet. That's the basis of this story, and we see that the first issue was really just telling you what those skeletons are. And this issue makes you care about the characters a little bit more, because the first issue they were kind of all scumbags, and so the second issue you start to realize, no, they have some things going on in their life that maybe aren't on the up and up, but some of these people, really are good people. My favorite character is still this guy named Recluse. He's essentially their Batman, but he's a vampire who's been alive for centuries. He's also a super genius, and he feeds off of the energies of criminals to stay alive, which is a pretty badass power. And so, Secret Identities #2 gives us a better sort of hint at what the story will actually be moving forward, and it's just it's a really fun superhero book. All right, lastly from Image this week, we have Manhattan Project's The Sun Beyond the Stars #1. Now, I've been so excited for this book since maybe December, when Hickman announced that he would be taking a hiatus from the book and then starting back up in March with an entirely new series, still following the continuity of the first series, but giving us a jumping on point for new readers. And when he did the interview announcing this book, he basically said he wanted the Manhattan Projects to be a book that could be any genre. And this sort of proves that, because we started out with this sort of comedy, sci-fi period piece, and now we ended up with this pure sci-fi adventure story. And we get a bit more of Yuri, the first man to ever make it to space, on the search for his Russian space dog pal, Ladka. And I mean, that just is so much fun. And we have a lot of very high-level sci-fi stuff in this book. Hickman loves just throwing us into the thick of it and then letting us find our way. So there's a lot of that. No exposition, just a lot of crazy aliens and very weird art. And I mean, that's what I love about the Manhattan Projects, and this issue is no departure from the usual. It's just more of good stuff. All right, lastly for the new comics this week, it's my very special segment, Comics Are for Girls. Now this is where once a week I pick one book that is either written or drawn by a female creator or stars a female protagonist. And this is just to really show that, there are books that are really good and have strong female characters and can help anyone get into comic books, because comics are for everyone. And so this week, I'm very excited because my pick for Comics Are for Girls is Silk #2. This book is so much fun. This is the unabashed Spider-Man book that we haven't gotten since before Superior Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, what Dan Slott is doing on Spider-Man is fantastic, but this is return to form for a Spider character. This is, the sort of nerdy awkwardness mixed with the fun-loving superhero antics of a Spider-based superhero. That's really what this is. And you sort of add the context for her awkwardness by the fact that she was kept in a bunker, recluse from society for like 10 years. So she just doesn't know what's going on, like what Pokemon game we're on, or who's in Game of Thrones or whatever, or even that Game of Thrones is a thing now. And so I mean, it's a lot of fun pop culture nods. Can't say that word apparently, but it was a really fun second issue. We're learning a little bit more about what happened to her family, because they've mysteriously gone missing, sort of like she did. And she runs into her high school sweetheart, and it's kind of heartbreaking. But yeah, Silk #2, really great book, really great character. Hope she continues on after Secret Wars. This week for comic news, we got a few big tidbits. Starting off with some DC news. DC has announced a bunch of new costumes for their main heroes. We know that the main trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, will all be getting new looks with the start of the post-New 52 publication, which I'm currently calling Divergence. I don't know if it has an official title yet. But we get to see Superman's new costume, which seems to be a lot more casual. He's wearing basically slacks and a t-shirt, so maybe he's going to be more down to earth. I really don't know what to think of that. Moving on, we have Wonder Woman's new costume. I believe it's designed by David Finch, who is currently doing the art on Superman and Wonder Woman. And he's just doing the art on Wonder Woman. And so that design is really cool. Basically, it's a black bodysuit with the gold and red armor over it, and she's got these van braces that have blades that can come out of them, which, I mean, totally seems like Wonder Woman to me, so badass. And then lastly, probably the most shocking of the costume reveals was the all-new Batman. So Scott Snyder recently announced that Batman would be getting a new status quo after Endgame, and we got our first insight as to what that might be. Basically, he's in a giant mecha suit, and I'll include a picture in this video because it is pretty jarring considering it's very different from anything we've seen Batman wear. Now, having said that, I'm very excited. I mean, it sort of sounds like when we first got the announcement of Superior Spider-Man, of Doc Ock taking over Peter Parker's body, that sounded weird, that sounded ludicrous, but it was a great book. It's an awesome new thing that we've never seen before. So I'm hoping that this is sort of on the coattails of that. I mean, Snyder knows Batman. I don't expect a bad story from him. I'm sort of thinking that's Harper Row under the armor. I guess we'll have to wait and see. This week in Marvel news, we got the May solicitations from Marvel showing us a ton of new series coming out of Secret Wars, as well as a full list of the series that will be ending with Secret Wars. Notable entries on that list are The Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, we have all new Captain America. We have a bunch of books that have just started, like Rocket Raccoon, and then books that have been going on for quite a while, like Avengers and New Avengers, which we knew would be ending with Secret Wars because it will be the end of Hickman's run at Marvel, at least for the foreseeable future. So, I mean, the thing is we have to take these announcements with a grain of salt because while these books might be ending, like, for example, Inhuman by Charles Soule, we know that Charles Soule will then continue on to a new series called Uncanny Inhumans, basically following the same characters. So there's a lot of new books coming out of the departure of these old books. And I, for one, am very excited. Let us know in the comments which title you're most excited to read. Thank you for watching The Comic Drop, your weekly spot for comic news and new comics. I've been your host, Antonio. Check back next week for more new comics and, you know, more good stuff. And so before I go, I just want to let you guys know we will be at WonderCon this year, April 3rd through 5th. All 3 days we will be there. We'll be hosting some games, giving away some prizes. We'll be having an Instagram bingo. You guys can come up to visit us anywhere at the con. We'll be wearing our Comic Spot t-shirts. You can come find us. Don't worry, we'll be tweeting and Instagramming our locations the entire time. We're going to check out some awesome panels there. Personally, I'm very excited for the Flash panel on Sunday. So if you guys are coming to WonderCon, come hang out with us. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, Twitter, comment on this video, and read comics. Have a great night.
So listen up, here's what the core can do for you.